I am back to numero uno here. That really took a long time to start. I know I say that all the time, but I think after downloading everything, having it plugged into the laptop does something to the recorder, and it takes a while to function. Today is the 4th of March. Back in March. It's funny, I've got memories of different months of March. For some reason, March is well defined in my mind. I have a feeling that I, for whatever reason, tend to do a lot of recording of things in March, be it little movies or audio or whatever. For some reason, maybe it's that kind of March, April, this kind of spring coming and whatever. But so here I am on a Tuesday at got my watch on, 3 minutes to 6, and there's still plenty of brightness. And at the end of the month, of course, the clocks will be going forward, I believe. That would make it 7 o'clock now. And then very quickly we're into the bright evenings. I'm looking forward to that. With this the kind of new life we have. Me going every morning, driving to Minosk every morning. Who would have thought? Who would have thought I'd be doing that? That's something if you'd asked me a couple of years ago. And I can only imagine what my response would be if you'd asked me 10 or 12 years ago. I would have said, no way, there's no way I'm going to drive to Minosk. But now I'm doing this full-time course. First time doing a full-time course since way back in Leon. Don't know how long that lasted for. But it's going well, and I've settled for the idea that I can expect to get pretty tired in the afternoon, but I found as well that I am kind of full of energy in the morning, and my plan is if I can just kind of keep myself energized, and it would probably help to maybe have a Red Bull drink handy, or to have a banana or something. If I can keep myself going till I get to the lunch break, well then I only have to deal with the 3 hours from 1:15 to 4:15, and that's okay, because then you've got a break for 15 minutes at around 3 or 3:15, and really after that break you can just kind of, you're just waiting to go. So it's mainly I just need to keep myself occupied, energized, try and be engaged from half 8, actually. It's quite early start. From 8:30 to 1:15. It's going pretty well. There's an awful lot of new stuff. Although it's not really new, but when you have all these different ways of saying things, it's complicated. I'm just trying to remember that avoir is or at least that's I can say, LA is linked with. You can hear the motorbikes. LA is linked with je vais au théâtre, je vais à l'hôtel, je vais à la boulangerie. So at least I know that that's where I use the a. And then un boulangerie, un pont, un hantar is one thing. It's not a definitive article, it's just a tree, a dog. Le is the tree, the dog, le. And oh my God, I've been living here for so long, this is kind of stupid. It's stupid to say, and I know now I'm a bit more clearer on the questions. Pourquoi, quand, est-ce que, qui, quoi, comment. I mean, it does sound kind of stupid to say, well done, you know how to say what and how and who and where, after being in France for so long. But maybe we'll move on to something else. We will obviously move on. I'm going to be doing this for months, and maybe hoping that at some point something kind of clicks, and I at least I start to understand a bit more, and I start to speak in a bit more logical way. I don't know. I'm also aware that I'm nearly 60, so that age thing trumps everything, Because when I think of that, I think, well, I'll do my best, but fuck it, at the end of the day, I'm not going to worry about this shit anymore. I'll do it every day. I'm going to get paid, which is cool. And when it's finished in July, I'll be better than I am now. Let's put it that way. It can't be any worse. And then in July, what? That's the big what. I hope but we don't know about that, so we just have to wait and see. Have to wait and see what happens. I'm going to sign off for a while because I got Patrice and Rosanna coming. Adios. Right. We're on number 2, but it's still the same entry, more or less. These two will obviously be put together when I'm uploading them. It's the 4th of March, if I haven't already said that. Anyway, you need to say it on each file. I hope it's the 4th of March. I may be a day out, but I'm pretty sure it's the 4th. So the driving is still can be a little bit nerve-wracking. But slowly but surely I get some confidence back. Still haven't received my money from the boulangerie person, Barbara. I'm waiting on another cassette recorder. Philips one, but altogether around €39. I have to keep it a secret from Flo, because last week I actually showed her the one I bought, the Panasonic Slimline, which works tremendously well, and it's exactly what I thought. There's something about these machines that's very long lasting, and I recorded on it, and it makes pretty good recording, and I recorded on my old one, which does the good recordings, and the one that the guy in Manosque gave me, which has to be watched, because when you press play or record the first time, there's a 50-50 chance that the spool on the right won't spin, and so the tape will unravel. But you just have to press it again, and then once it starts to work properly, it's fine. So I've been having fun with these. I even took the Impex one out of the garage and had a look through it, and I actually managed to get a recording off of that one as well. I was saying to Flo, I think it may be something to do with the fact that well, when I was young, I didn't know anything about the audio cable that you could plug into the mic section, the kind of auxiliary input, which allows you to record from a device. And I just keep thinking, if I'd have known that at the time, in 1978, if somebody had come along and said, you can do this, and then they'd actually brought the cable for me and said, you just plug it in here and then the recording will be much better, I would have been so blown away by that. It would have been one of those moments, I think, when I'd recorded it, especially after my recordings of just holding the thing close to the radio. It would have been so great. And something to do with all that has got me obsessed with the devices. I don't know if maybe I had some fantastic moment as a kid, Maybe even some stuff I don't remember. I do remember recording stuff. I remember listening to that radio. But it's amazing. I only have one or two memories of listening to stuff. And one song was Oliver's Army, so it was 79. That would have been. I would have been 13 or something. But I had the machine earlier, so songs from 78 were recorded as well. And of course, I don't know, we upgraded to different stuff then, and I never kind of looked back till recently. So now the sun is going down. I'm going back home with Tuco. We met Patrice and Hosanna. Had a bit of an episode with Tuco. I walked on ahead all the way down to the place we turn off and come back by the river before we get to the pylon. And I look back and Tuco's way back. And for a while he just stands there on the path, all the way back at that kind of pond area. And I'm shouting at him to come along. Tuco, Ali, come on. Then I walk on ahead and I think he's just going to follow me. So I walk on a bit, then I stop and look back, and he's walking in the opposite direction. He's going home. He's like saying, I'm not going anymore, I'm going home now. So I had to kind of keep shouting at him to stop. And now he's here in front of me, but he's on the lead. Just to kind of show him who's boss. There's me worrying about him not getting enough walks. Anyhow, so we're in the time of the French lessons. Keep me going for a while. I don't think I've got much more to say. I had a very disturbing dream yesterday. I spoke about it in one of the other devices. Actually made a recording on a cassette, the Sony cassette machine. It was a dream where I was with my brother John, and it was like we were in some kind of an apartment in Spain or something. It seemed very sunny and bright. Too bright to be in Ireland. And I was peeing all over the place because I was kind of peeing into a waste paper bin, and then I realized, oh shit, the toilet is not here. And then John said, it's okay, don't worry about it, because I was cleaning the mess up with this mop and everything. And then after that he said, I don't want you to come here anymore because we've been going out having meals, and you know, doing all kinds of things for the last few months, but you're too drunk all the time and you've been throwing things at people and you've been impossible to be with. And it was an awful sensation. The character I was in the dream me, just had a realization of not remembering anything for the previous couple of months. It's like a blackout multiplied by 1,000. I couldn't remember anything. And so then after that, a policeman kind of arrested me, but he was very nice and he just talked to me, let me go. And then the worst part, I'm kind of summarizing, the worst part was then I found myself walking. It's like being in Montpellier, Narbonne or something, and I'm aware that Flo she's as far away from me as Orizon, and I'm thinking I got to call her maybe to collect me. And I know she won't be happy, but she does yoga and maybe she will collect me. And then I remembered, and this was like it was like that part in a movie that's where the camera would zoom out and the character would scream. Because I put my hands to my side and I realized I have no money, no credit cards, and worst of all, I've got no phone. I realized I had nothing. And it wasn't like I was able to go back in my memory and say, well, I've been to this pub and that, I must have left it here. I had no memory of the last 6 months, so I had absolutely no idea where they would be. There was nowhere to look. That was the sensation. They were gone, and I just thought to myself, it's probably more than possible that there's someone, and maybe even more than a few people, living that nightmare, just as I was dreaming it, in slightly different ways. People who are in a situation where they think I'm going to call someone and they realize there's no one to call. They may even momentarily think I'm going to call this person and then remember the person's not even alive anymore. Such is the way in the alcoholic's brain, the mind is starting to rot from all the alcohol. God, it was really, I woke up and it was like my chest was just so, like it was being squeezed. Kind of a reminder of the awfulness that can await someone who thoroughly gets taken by the alcohol. The people who end up on the streets, the people you see talking to themselves and wandering around. And anyway, I'm nearly home now, so I should sign off for this 4th of March entry, just to say where I am. And yes, I shall go home and eat something.